Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 8th of November, comes to you from Prague. And boy, what a difference a day makes. Election day today in the US, and big moves yesterday in anticipation of a Clinton victory by the looks of things. And so we start by looking at the dollar. Dollar had a strong rise yesterday, putting us just back through the cloud here on the short-term chart. Remember, this is my long-term, medium-term, and short-term time horizons here. 1% point and figure chart, 0.5% log scale point and figure chart, and 0.1% on the 60-minute data. And this data are all coming to you from Thomson Reuters Icon, Updata sitting on top of that. I'm here in Prague today giving a training course to a group of electricity traders, so it'll be interesting. So first of all, we're looking at the dollar index just starting to look bullish, and that means if we look at the euro, we are just coming through on a bearish chart. So we're just turning bearish, dollar strength, filtering through to euro weakness, about 1% downside down to 109, and of course all of these downside targets still hanging over us. And if we make new lows on the euro, that's quite worrying. So we're bearish on all time frames at the moment on the euro. Japanese yen had a strong run yesterday. None of these moves now, today, this morning, are that significant. Just a small change on yesterday now, but yesterday's move was very significant. Back through into bullish territory. Still long-term bearish at the dollar yen in terms of the yen strength, but we are just seeing here now big improvements in the short and medium term. At an upside target not yet activated of about 9-10% there. So really quite key. Sterling, of course, had a good week last week, but we're just starting to wander into negative territory. We're not there yet, but we're just seeing that. So sterling retracing, looking very much like last week was a counter trend move. So sterling weakness just creeping back in, and of course the dollar strength. And if we look at sterling euro, again we're seeing that just flat at the moment. So between the two currencies, there's not much in it. All about dollar strength. If we look at sterling Swiss, much the same picture here. We're just coming back at the moment, but we are just seeing that rate just looking like it'll deteriorate, just like that dollar chart. And I like to look at the Aussie just as a good lead indicator. Aussie sterling is through on the cloud already, so we're seeing that retracing. Big story yesterday was the stock market. S&P 500 up over 1%, putting us back above that 2,100 mark, and not yet bullish on that chart, but really just starting to take us through there. So that's quite key that we're seeing that that move. If we look at the Nasdaq 100, again very strong performance yesterday, and we're seeing that coming through as well. And the Russell 2000 had a very strong move. So stocks really rising across the board, especially small caps, up more than 2%. Not putting us into bullish territory yet, but a very strong showing all the same. And if we look at the futures, futures showing strength again this morning as well. Much the same in European markets. If we look at the FTSE 100, it was quite a good day there as well, up over nearly 1.5%. Still in bearish territory though. We're not quite through on European markets yet, and that's quite key. We look at the Nikkei. Not much change overnight on Tuesday, but Monday again was a strong showing. So that we're seeing that markets now just all sitting tight, just waiting for the election result really. So that's quite key. If we look at Brent crude, again, a little bit of recovery, but still bearish below the cloud here, and just nudging below on the lagging line on this daily chart. So the long-term bearishness just starting to weigh a little bit on the price. This is not yet showing any signs of clear recovery. If we look at US nat gas, very slight move down as well, but trying to come through the cloud on the short term. So it's just looking like it's finding support here on the lagging line, but not a very bullish chart all the same. Coffee has been the really big story of late. In terms of softs, coffee has really done very well, and we see here on the chart that we're bullish, 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 very strongly bullish here. Upside target of 20% here on coffee. Might well be a pullback in the short term because we've run quite quickly. So that's quite key as well. Gold didn't have a very good day yesterday, but recovering a bit this morning. But it is just in slightly bearish territory now on the short-term and medium-term charts. Long-term picture still looks pretty good. If we make new lows, then we've got quite a big downside target here as well. And if we look at silver, silver is quite a nice lead indicator on gold as well. We do actually have an upside target and support being played here, but downside one activated as well. So that's the picture is quite mixed for precious metals. Copper has been pretty bearish of late, and if we look at copper at the moment, running quite strongly in the short term, so that is also quite interesting. US interest rates, we look at the 10-year yield, up to 1.82, just starting to nudge into positive territory. Interest rate rises in December on the cards in the US, and 1.94 is a new short-term upside target activated. So we could see the 10-year note pop on the yield on an election result. Just looking at some of the tech stocks, the really big moves are actually in Google and Amazon, but here we see Apple not quite showing through here, still looking a bit bearish. And if we look at Google, we see here they were up 2.5% yesterday, so that was quite key as well. So we are seeing that is just starting to look a bit more bullish, but not quite through yet on the cloud there either. Amazon has had a really amazing run in recent months. They just had a little bit of a sell-off last week, and we still haven't made it into positive territory. But we are holding the medium and long-term trends, but the short term is still hard to call. And we're seeing here on Facebook, last of all, that we are just negative on that. But the interesting on the short term, but the lagging line on the cloud is still above, so that's showing some strength. Today is going to be an interesting day with the election, but of course it's the result now. We're running up to the results. Expect some short-term volatility in the run-up to that. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.